And Honorable Dr. Brian Achampong, Abetifi MP, our Minister for Food and Agriculture.
I do am so you're in your bay.
Say you're getting into full mechanization and irrigated farming. CCR rainfed irrigation is about 80%. Until do lean season now, definitely no Adrian Bobed and Kakra. Yabon pass and you're sure able to make 50% of mechanization and irrigated agric. You decide dia hebi yama kakra. Now or did you medibia nani so eye na bo apa.
Ne
o say Eastern region ya pue mantem.
Ya pue.
You constituency bia wontwe kakra mentem ho ase bi ekoso ho no. Kwan biara obefa so a obesiesie na 2020 enya 60% of the total vote in Eastern region. You bet me push it there 65% and above no obeye.
Yeah, Brian Achampong.
You into our former team be team no meka ho. Na wa sha asifi eso daman akoso mboni akwam ne ho kwasiai ema wasiesie wantem ema ene asumdwe aba nkabom kese pa na wode yadwuma wo fi ho no wo ba yensu ano
tell me bisa se mate say wo hwadwo
wodi kan ba me fi wo ton ase
yeah
for breakfast na yedidi na yebonkomo candidate a ogina nabo aida hasidu oka ho na DC owo ho wonyina be shiai wo me fi na yedidi na didi ni mu no yebonkomo wie no na ntiase aye adwuma ojedi ya onte no ho ase ate no ho ase se yere ka bom na yen seat na akodi baabi no yakwa akwaja aba kwame yefiwa na wode me ka team no ho ene yekọ akwatia yekoto yenua amase
oh Miguel no
yeah the amase factor
Miguel no Miguel na muni na nini ye no muni na nini ye
babe enyo no ngua
oh me de bia
na betie kwa wode me nini ye babe ja maka
me amase de mo anyade
enyo amase de me ka ho obi so ka ho oforo so ka ho
I pay America me de what they within the minimum ya can we but I must say me say
yanga ye ko shia ma say me kwesi da no e ball no nsia ne fa me fra ma say me pa me ne ama say me fra me no de ma to ha na me wasu aduro na me hu say no ma me onye na adwun so be shia me iti anopa 6:30 na me jane gate na no o 5 pe na be so wa me jane gate na no ma ati se kasa wo inside o pue ba na o pue bai no ode me kwatranse ye kasa ya yegusu kasa no na bu obi amoa epie wo ho na Jeff Kunadu ono ye Eastern Regional Chairman ono so me fere so we me sa ka no ha momra na ono so bai na Brian Achampong so bai na ye be shia constituency chairman ene amase nukun alaji se no say alaji se kura alaji bello wokota ne ba ne alaji se internet so fia ye nsu ano nti ya no won di nkomo kwame ya kasama nti ase means can sing say bibia ye nemom nti asereba esante niam bi wo ha e wo se yang meka yang MPP ene MPP aban no yanso yatoto niye na nipa bi kuma eto won yam santoto ye no eguso onabo Brian Achampong ejato no ho se obehwe na santoto ye no akoyi na obi akoma ato ne yam na yatumi aka bom na mpo santoto ni nyansi ye no onabo amase ye kase kwa akodi woni fi sana wo be di wo mi fi wa me yedu wona aduan bi ani ho na ye bo adnitieti an say ekodu anwumira ye call rounds nyina ye bai no na amase awo fufu ni abun ne akranten kwan kwa me na e fine ye nyina ye ne candidate no eye Yakumi Ernest Yakumi ona ye ni gina wa kwatia ye ni nyina na call amase fi na ye kodidi na ye di nkomo nti ase ayadwuma ye call wanchi ekusi osiewo hine da se bre we dem chia no pese uti epise fema na ye call onabo economy kisi wana no ye regional chairman
Kingston
Eastern region na onim say ofi wanchi so ka kwatia ho
na say kisi oye MP
yes no yes we I remember nti ye hu underground current bi na say kisi no so the chairman kisi so say ne kasa no tene ma bi ase nti ye kɔ no ofi ye kwasra no ewo wanchi ono nsia na kasa ono nsia agi atomo pa se nam no so na nti asem made a ene ono so ama ne sa so bibiara obeye na nkabom atumi aba akwetia no obeye nti kwame betuma ka say team no is doing very well and na ka wasanka yekọ fanti akwanof ebegoro onam kwanso awoko na mebeye program ewo TV station bi na mi a mi si kwanso america begoro na ka che mi si na akomia antumi amana nti america begoro me mfa ha na mi nchia na me nka kakra ansana matu asa akọ begoro nti yekọ fanti akwanof yenua kodua ano former regional organizer for Eastern region and region na honso wantwu kakra ho wonim honorable guarantee
yo
no yo
amankwesi ama
no ye current MP ewo fanti akwanof men na enter parliament 2009 yes we akọ 4 terms na e was yedu won kwatranse ne hu kwan a such a senior member of parliament Honorable Amankwesi Ama 16 years as a member of parliament, quite a lot of experience. Inti I see anako kasa na okuso yenu ya kodua nsem na fanti akwanso asomdwe eba ho. Ye wie bet wesi krobofun mu ho. You menya na ni wonu ya aka wo ho na ho nso yakohwe na enka bom aba. San say operation 65% ne de. Kwa me kwan bia se o se yensaka.
I see. Inti mweja tumse se de wo ayepe ayensuano weja tum sa asem fa na asem ko
kwame say me kwatena parliament 12 years
yeah
na me say me mpene e wo mu say 2020 independent candidate ebetwe 3600 votes from MPP and stronghold Eluma Papem na me lose about 241 votes me jetum say nipa bi a esesase ma sa 3600 votes no buy me lose me seat no and that one na one group no akọ win primaries inti say man tutuma na mon ya ma chita afọ no so bekese ni ana eburu ben kan no ono ode ayemonwen e buy say seat na nya da yensa beka inti na wo say mi gina ye na me ne ma chita afọ no kasa ye na yemfa boni entua boni so ka na mom ye betumi aboa na seat no yensa aka na back na fi yahwe the way forward inti bra me take decision say meboa no na me ne mechita afunu kra bibiri nkasa aye na mejeto mu na so kwa honim say we leader you have to lead me jeto mu wi a me ba abonten no mechita afunu bibiri afre me wo frɛ ma me kire won say me na me leader no inti won tie me no wona me nya adwene no woni mechi ne enkoje yen city na ayira na mra na obi anso ameka bi anso ojetom inti kwa me yere ko yagani na mom no miama bi o me mpese in politics ya put conditions say mo anya me say me so me nya say
nka me oni asanka me bi sa nin say
me wo
my horse trading bi ana
yes me wo miama bi am so me wo certain demands be back me mpese me dia no kwa condition say mo anya me say me so me nya say me ma gi atom na mum so ma ka me ha won so a kire won samri ya ye nyina ya kan ya ho abom ne adiri ya adwuman na ma go beyond ayensu ano na me akwatia akobua ena me wie program ya me kofanti akwa medi achi akobua na ena radio station me feel studio ha kwa me peace studio ha 10:30 enra nwumire na me 6:30 na me wo Joy Prime ena masenya ba ha ne nyina ne say me pese me boa na me party MPP etumi esan wini power nti niam bi a me so me pese me kan we free so na ya me ha na maka kire mpahenfo no won hwe no won so wonye won afemode esan say benkum gware nifa na nifa nso egware benkum say be ya obi ani renya ne yawo na enwa etuma kabom as one political party na Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia sania 5 northern regions no eje na tom enra no wo wa east wa west ani Chairman General.
Yeah, baba.
Na me kasa na
election 2024. Yeah, baba.
No kan me no man answer na adwuma.
David.
Ayo.
Yeah, baba.
Enti chairman na say yetumi nya be 60% 5 northern regions. Ashanti region ya pese you go below 82%. Eastern region yetumi GN 65%. Near be 50-50 with Greater Accra region. Central last 4 years you winning Central region. Ya fi yetumi esan retaining ho na ye nya kakra fi other regions a Dr. Bawumia president mesre MPP ni biara wani enye niam bi anko ya ma on se fache me de ache enu ama se de ache ofoforo so de ache wo so fache ni enkan mumu na onsechi ebe ya oda ento se wonsayem
onsechi be ya oda ento se wonsa yem Kwesi macha kwaba. Boko there.
Oh, Kwame, you be other form. You na check a
crab. Pa.
And I said, the Jack a crab ship. Sanity. Yes, sir.
Now, last week, Mr. Wonka.
Kwame.
How did it go?
Oh, be a say. Who said? Dikan City Hall no.
And patch your money suka cra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dikan City Hall no.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was full.
And no near some.
Yeah.
Enti nishasi make us a pejameni City Hall na I am ma bim say. Sunday ni. Mi ankasa no wo muka chem se mi nkokasa no na emi na kakra. Na obrimpon ti say na se wapen baby ko na ye probi akokasa akoshe na mi ma me en wo mo frɛ me
na so we titiro
oh Kwame David na me shut down ti asiesa enti wo hwa me be hyase akasa no misrɛ wo se me yɛ fumso bia yɛmfa nkyɛ me because papa na my friend said, "Me kasa nshene no osu kese pa."
Yeah.
Na me kasa wie no. Masa Kwame.
Akwezi.
Eto mi so kakra. Me kasa wie ya me peja me ni a edem ho obia sorry gina ho. Biara sorry gina ho. Former Chief Justice, a lawyer for academics na do obia sorry gina ho. Na semen kwa na mika intia aye yisaro
say Professor Mills dear
Charlie
say we yan fanesa amanyo sem efrimu a me gidi say Ghana fo nyina agitum say na oyo obrempon ankasa
masa nti mikoka ni ametimi aka e kire madwin mi sheda kire madwin yi pa mankoye amanyo sam ne ade for modern say no kure na we mu ha no ndi betudwa futu ba ko amedi maya em say enu eya tene kakra enu say wo betie ye nuanum bia anopa ewia ne anajo asomo mo kan ni say aban foforo ba eye nuanum na wo MPP na ese omo edu omo ko shekita hye ne pro ye mu awi aban sika ne ade no yenchi won ne empa won to afiase.
And I say we should prioritize the welfare of the people.
You put the one side of it. Kwame said man enough for more.
Yeah.
Yeah, chinkro for two.
Yeah.
And yet you made that form. Pity Professor Mills abuse. Who can say Professor Mills or Babeji to me? No, I'm on for you about Chiwon.
Yeah.
About any party to me, too.
Even 50 President Kufa Breso.
Yeah, President Kufa says about Chiwon.
One thing I would do, and let you say, you might cry at 2 hours and why I won't.
And I'm not going to see Eric.
Yeah.
But chases out from the side. You hear episodes why there was no me prequest actually not.
Yes.
You Dr. Kunyasen.
Yeah.
I said, fear being seer consume. Some war as a Bibia. Intimate can be.
No, you have to chachu chikata.
Oh, Self-portrait say a cover. It is possible, say MPP for better Benoit and fear what Tria Kufia. Some young can be. It is possible. Chachuchikata. A choir
6 years plus.
By any idea, Nico to a fierce President Kufufia Bemu, still not some no court. Enough of sir. Me a now or a Minister for Foreign Affairs. The friends say, Minia Pa.
A question, Sergi.
Oh. Nasem by you crabudi din some no massa Kwame Ekosi say. Me a Dr. Reku Brobi.
Tazan.
Din Ekosi say. Sisi aye kasai. Assembly or assembly bia. Ambulance tra.
At force
ni Japan ni. One shot. Busumi and nine be okay. Let me find Casa some. And so, Yamo to me, and I say, Uba. Now, dear, but I see when this is over Chinko to more. If you freak a crab at all. Yes, if you freak a crab at all.
Baby,
I think the bedroom Pempen so be a was by a horse and Santo about my exas all year. I say, can be pencophobia to. Now, which means you want to, David, you want to.
In 2 years, day.
In 2 years, day. Me try so much you want to.
Nay, day.
I know you're fan custom. It's me at the Slediana Medima in Yanuma, or when you brepa, or person who G2 me, then say, the focus must change. To see a gun higher way, Kwame, or how a damn man for Sunya or how Kitwa. Usoriano Power, Sabako, no, I some Cassia. Oh, now Dana Mikasa, no. Michelle Dapa to government statistics. Kwame meaning said, I'm be sending Ubiana.
There be me who speech later.
But Michelle Dapa could to government statistics. Eh, opening. And feed was a dear Adriania Ghana a cry about $26 billion. And we have some
more than Eurobond sky defeat.
Massa, I have some Cassipa Dawa as if you can. Massa, and no my cry and nam come fish a come.
Tomatoes.
Na ede boni kwan ya yenti ya yentumi enyi nam wo yensu Ghana rensu dudu a wo Ghana bibubu nsu ni na di esukoko pra ayi nekeka ho
se ya galam se
ni na wo asu ya krana ayi wohwe ayi southern border Atlantic Ocean. Enti ka dien kwanti nanka ye kranam uti asia eyeye nya no pe wo Kwame
crazy
anu echi no tomatoes
ena bra champion bufu ye no
tomatoes no kokra tomatoes kura Burkina Faso semi desert oh now ye Ghana mine Ghana ni that's all create tomatoes free. Your friends say Burkina Faso. So bisa wonsem. Say ye call say ni. Kwame, fa no true answer.
Me dey true ho.
Tomatoes here make wonsem. Ye can be fi Germany, one more winter. Into for a large part of the year, omo dua bibi because of the winter conditions. As we mutimi dua tomatoes, manubru omo so me ye kokra bi. Amen de Ghana. You're the third largest importer of tomato paste from Germany. What should I say? Fair no true, Massa. Confirm. You can't confirm via butchery.
And I can't first, I'm saying Yanokren.
The first me can't quite say Yanokren. You can't confirm via butchery. Hey, it's a video you're calling saying me. Inti media and Pempenso you do. Biara o petumi wo Ghana ha no ade ese hia no pa ni ekwan obefa so aye nhyehyɛ pa se ne ebɛyɛ Ghana ni bi asɔre no pa ni sabe kɔna no enu ya de hia chance okɔchi obi akɔtum aso kɔchi obi kɔtum na aye de enu no ya de hia me pa de bia me bia ye eyi se me bohu de ro pa se ya obi aye bɔne a yɛntwe na so banya no na ye botai kesia SC animo a ye de ye campaign and so on. Me nka so obi awia de yinda man nko. There be na sa na me.
Na mom
botai kesia ani so ne se. SC ani so ne se. Ye be ye den ne tumi edidi anum nsuo ahwe ye mba school atua ye dan ka eno ne botai a SC ani so kesi. Na Kwame bibisu pejaba no so ha me yie pa me so say wo ni ai pe na matiti bi
yeah
wo beti no obi adwa say President Mills dey obey father for all na sa father for all no yen tontwene kra ye dey na tontwene presidential oath Kwame wo presidential oath na bie na kan presidential oath obiara obedi omampani wo Ghana ha no osua se obeye father for all.
Well, not the exact phrase though.
Yeah, but that is what it means. That you would not discriminate against anybody and so on. It's in the presidential oath. Oh, and the injunction, a constitutional injunction. And that there ultimate touching. Now you MPP ni na be your mampenia. We your mampeni ma MPP pe. So your mampeni ma MPP pe there now we your mampeni fun pa as a touching. So we CPP ni na be your mampeni na o se me there. CPP kwa na me dem your mampeni ma. Ah sabio tafra che enyadom. Now your mampeni jenjan. Ana ipe me boa. Now your mampeni jenjan. Into biara oba be your mampeni wo Ghana ha no. Eso ti ase oba your mampeni ama Ghana manfo nyinara. Nye MPP for enye NDC for. Aba e de boba no onya techi so odi be jinjam no. Onya me che no. Na eno no akoye amambuo papa ama ye nyinara. Na kwami dan me kasa no me san ka bibia. No so no ayi wahu Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
Yeah.
Na some kind say e bibiri mu hase betumpon e beko animu a ejina nkabom. That is one of the most important things I say achieve. It's already 1960 constitution now. The shemu say e bibiri mu nkabom no if we have to sacrifice our sovereignty for the greater unity of Africa and so on, we're ready to do it. When we look at constitutional review near the I mean, this will be about commitment to continental union government. Julius
Meleme, what can be our to Abetian was Africa. Those of Obakan African in our boom. Into Obama and here for now, our part of Africa, now South Africa. I can't be now, Julius, or performing poorly.
Pacho, ebi a wording no.
Mr. Can't be Mangasa no
this, but wording no mean you watching it. But me no, I'm saying doing pen so be a say a casa bedroom one, and now back from Kwan as a dream. And send you our car, your two Obama. Now so baby, you know, now bomb mine. On them said. So me, yes, me free Gomwa apa. On him said, me could not Gomwa apa. Cause a Gomwa for me a Gomwani, me mammy a Gomwani, papa a Gomwani, and Timon to mammy. No sinesina, only me Gina Gomwa pa a batwono. Ebia, or no mammy, a free srim, and I said, free volta, and I say, so dear no, some mechanic, which you may have to Obama. Nanso hu sunsan so no ebo man enye votes nko an ye pe wo yopo man mpuntu ye pensam a ye kan sempa ye kan ebe kan ya bom ensempa ye kan ebe ma ye nyinara ye di ye ni asi o man mpuntu so what must enti ni obi kwa kan ya olusu boss ni ade na me de family ho ne family no se ne awo kan no kra na ne awo kan hu sunsunso no mpuntuo bebrega na man eno eho na mehwe na me de kama sem enti Kwame
yeah crazy
about obre no adu dano no na me kasa o baby ana me kotu chare nim se
kotu me
yeah me kotu pa
hey Kwasi na me dey na maka wa kotu me
Kwame mi hu bibi wo ayi abef mfidi so net so about President John Mahama okoye meet the press bi okay
na say dey
throw bibi di share one
Sunday bitter
I'm afraid me Kwame na say Kwame adi amehuni na ni amehuni no kra na say dey oh na Kwasi woni say you silly season
silly season make I silly season
na silly season no hey masa ya wura mu pa ya wura silly season no and if only be how mo kasa mo twi break sabio tafra cho mo kasa mo nwen And once we move Casa Hunyan,
free fall.
And say, yeah, pay votes. In the yam, I could do pempen, so be say, and there. Or call a Kejetia, no Casa. A some more Becca. Of Kejetia, no could do Kokrokoo, as for some more Becca. Nipa Baku. Or cross sorry, dear moi, as from New York. Or call you for synagogue, as from New York. Or call Muslim, as from New York. Abba, Mumian can no crack. Nan no crano air bar coupe. So who can no cry? Who could not get it now, Casa? Never can get it here, Hono, and one I becan Kokrokoo. So who can no cry? Massa, who could see one Yabecano, and one about Nafu Hezra, who becan to pepe. Obiara or Casa, or Kobe or Casa Obiana soon your cow or truffle. And he said, Ginny. Nanina no Kwame.
Crazy.
Eternity, we see this season, and we've been. Obika some pana who jump and have his say, Auntie opening pay, ye boony say, as some more can Sabio Tafraj or dream it Trimuana. Or dream it Trimupans and workers as some. Auntie, silly season, a bit and Tramunta. There's a Tramunta. You be near Titi minus I, Titi minum was say or mine. Na any be Arasuna, the dear elections. So, Master, you be behind the dear elections. And you may be what a bull elections so. There's a banner you bet not 12 month wedding kunim. Now, what's now? And I'll be who say could be Krosuni Canaan. I'll watch the hold. And I'll be who say could be Krosuni Canaan.
Kwesi Pratt.
Yo, monkey can't enter my oh, mine of a question. One and 2 months obeying Aquatana. 1 and 2 hours obeying Aquatana. So, you Nara, open Sanya Wuti and obey. Nina a ticket hay, Namiti hay. Nina Casse, a beckon someone a mudo, a mupi, Nadim Puntu Beba. Yen didn't drop. The bear correct.
And they are Futia with them. Oh,
of course, yes. We make a home.
Yo,
the hen is a baby. And a man, I say, Betrana, I know the dead, then Yakaki carry near the 2 million Mawa, and I'll be who Samia. The 2 million Mawa, and I'll be who Samia.
Samia as in Kroma.
Yo, media metiha. Metiha, say a shit. Say a shit. Yo, Metiha.
I think,
Cecilia Kwame,
Marching,
Cecilia Cra, Cecilia Yeti. Show mine is someone. The Ministry of Finance almost 128% of total national revenue. The dear new money in Sabe. Debt servicing, debt repayment,
and compensation,
and public sector emoluments. And it's a whoop now could not simply so. Now, cause Shabo Acacia, Sabio Tafraje, now won't dream with 3 more. Because can it be no? Sikaya dear got a Kuragana in Ibin. And yet here can say, yeah, I said, we can't happen, my main contract.
Me dear.
And yet here, on my penny and a dream, so be 12 feet can that Flagstaff house. Robert Shrine with Peace FM hard. This is a bussia, no, they are top petrol.
Oh, crazy.
It is true. Kwame, 128% of total national revenue, debt payment, debt servicing, and public sector emoluments. On my penny petrol, or he Master, on my penny petrol, a casa 3-line items. And come. So that's a fact. And they are a Togo, on my penny, or an address over the shrine, near address a manner. This is a bobusia. This is the situation. This is how horrible the situation is.
Anyway, and the finance minister Kwakoye media.
Boka, Jilo. because then see ya kodu pempenso bi as wan ko bobu se a utumi nya komi and ya bogu mu enti mraso na se tree break bi bi se ho enti e be koso bobu se na sa ko si da ben. That's the point where we are. This is the conversation we should be having.
Yeah, tax reforms, what are you doing to show up local revenue? These are very
well, and media review, Baba and Tiabehe. There'll be something in there for all of us to look forward to.
Chairman, Chairman General.
Yes, sir.
Near Obekasa, so it was away late in the
my elite, I said Chairman General,
but
the panel versus the
but and then the article with the betchen because
rules no be.
I bring any so.
Me rules ne de a regular panelist.
Debbie, send your friend last minute. I teach your friend the last minute. I think and there was a miampa oba later. Debbie, oba later me bonnet. So na the men can he.
Matthias, Chairman General.
Yes, sir.
Young of Kwesi Pratt. A seminar canon a be no quarry. Sending in our crown, then Mumbai to be a Bruni Ekakasa be exaggeration. Sir, we exaggerating be brea. As my pay can Indian quarry, and see the no quarry. For instance, see a case public monument na item 1 and item 2. Item 2 goods and services. Into the two goes together. Into so catch you say percentage in the other share monument now and we are item 1. Don't forget to say item 1 can't go without item 2. They move together. Into president, if you are the career, you share item 2 goods and services. I want to option fuel and any other expenditure no efi. Into say finance minister be catch you say oh be a percentage in a monument no car it goes with item 2. Into no car say how much you know see you chair president the carry na president be ko baby a just you could free fuel and I could probably say I could fuel president as I go where no bit.
But the truth of the matter is that you need to Flagstaff House for fuel at the pump.
Pacho,
that is not the topic. I don't know something you can say. You can say send you to your sika ho editia. Send na owura kwesi practice yeko. Pebo sia de ko tia na me kire say.
It was metaphorical. So
owura kwesi practice kan sim bi wa hasia na kwame. Me no ya adwene. Say sie bedi achi ni ahwe nipa won aye bone aban we ba o me try na unim. Ni amadi mani ato fama mahwe hu ni say. Emra party A former government na or try party B nipa oje di say mo nga di dwirim no na party B ba pe o say nipa the prison kura o say ma pardon nia owu so ye case so I'm not interested in the case no so abeso party A fonu mu no we fi ase etwon eniti na Dr. Mahmoud ba o me wutie ne 70-point agenda of the two gano also obey you the digitalization now or they do more of prevention. Sina be any pan because ni pan ko boni we na basa otwe na so ya edin. Nti obey more of prevention see they may better to akwan ma nipa no say adwiri ma ye ka ho asemi ne ye be ye den a wuntumi nye let alone say wo ba be ye ne ya kire wo na ye de wa ko gina court. A typical example no ye yen audit system no say internal auditors no eyo mo adwuma yi no me bold and as yetumenya IT system bi e track internal auditing na yetumi ayusu sa IT system no e dey reduce sa adwirimu nkitinkiti a ekoso ne akase ni nyina at the point of internal auditing na eno ba bua bebre sense ye bebu ya ni agu ni ama no so I said say external auditors ba no nga behu asini apagya nipa no de na kogina court mi je de say sa no mai niam bi a Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia wahu ntina ori say nyame hadom na on the 7th December 2024 ye to ma no be fa banwe ya obema nani akoho no mo eno so nkire say bit afrache ye de anu abenti na ukodi bone ne ye kirewa ne enwo say ye de fa sa akwan no so eno so say onia ye tra no court ye no ye beye nia ye be prevent ya eno so ebebu anu so ne yetuma prevent na akosoro yes ebebua bebre nti nia na owura kwesi prato so kan efa nipa bi a ukojina ha no waka asem foforo sese no we say nipa ejina ye campaign me da bia na me ka kwa me ase say me kasa e wo radio so ama government and I say me party no me kaka many aye 2006
chairman time ko
2000 and chairman time ko
da bia nyanchia
no ofakwasi article benya no mere ye an hour to finish out so article be kasa nti nia na meka
we run campaign mode winti
chairman inti ya behwe say ukojira ha no waka na akojira no waka no atemi bia ya mpa say wo adwene pa na wo niama obetuma ya abo manyi na ya nto aba ma na akwetena opposition a untumi enya ni awo ye no na ya na eforso nipa ni bi say menka say but ye ka no ye hu say wi ase akonanim because of social media inti say ukojira benkum na waka ni fa beti okotena nifa na waka benkum nso ebeti nti na I measured nsema ye ka na ekai me opahini bi a okojina ba bi kan say onu kra de free senior high school as CA ye practicing on the buy ye tin nsema e buy ne journalist for ne Ghana funya say your records no ebi no call archives ekoyi videos ahoro eba abonten ebedi adanse nti eyi nyina ye nema bi a eboa wujina baabi wukasa nyane e recordo ne da ababetu abonten nti ebeda abonten na akojina benkum na woka yehu nea woka wo ho no nti ye besere na asem no say a baabi a begina bia no eye edo my experience in politics enya asema obuka akoka because of our regional balancing yen tribal differences yen religious differences ni ade nti baby akoka baby asimo baby ujira baby on to me kind say but don't forget to say wo kan so video esi so nti ni awon pese benkum bet no wo kan benkum so ebete nti na ya measured in our presentations Samuel Ayepe Ayenswano this year na anyway, I didn't want to get into it, but I will. And Pacho, the seat of government as known in Ghana is Jubilee House, not Flagstaff House. Obi can Flagstaff House.
I think that from here. Yeah. I don't want to go back and forth on this matter. Yo. And Pacho, and Ghana. Moi mutie ye bisa say we seat of government here your friend Jubilee House say echire obi so e decide so be sadin na decide in aye adwuma
the name of the seat of government depend on which part forms government
which is shameful
we should have just one
no na catch kwam
say Jubilee House
na say me jitum oh na say me
contentious issue
kwesi ye niama petty partisan politics. Oh yes. Yeah, nyama abe contentious. Flagstaff House. Now a military installation. You know that. Or sergeant for the president. Ebe yo mampenini. And a movie seat of government. If he castle usu. Eba Flagstaff House. And a Flagstaff House be a seat of government. And our sergeant for the president. 66 and Fufi Antoata near Tuno. And the Jan Flagstaff House were for a long time, a soldier for occupy for a long time. Many parts of Flagstaff House at it say cry completely. J Kufobedi or Mampenini and a rehabilitation starts here. So I sign the seat of government. Or year, and I was saying commemoration of Ghana's 50th anniversary. 2007, or Sesa Dino from Flagstaff House to Jubilee House as the seat of the presidency, and a Jubilee House. And Yetuaba Etian, MPP, and Antonio Tiako, party in the government. And President Mills by no Yifriho, or see they be back to the old name, Flagstaff House. Muni in Tian Supenesa, Nebe Flagstaff House Ubium. Nana Kufado by. I see there be Flagstaff House in Tete. Na new Oye rehabilitation scene for front AJ Kofo, and as part of our 50th anniversary or to Jubilee House into Asabe in Jubilee House. Intended to seat of government a Jubilee House. Or Chinebi, Obibaba, also they call Flagstaff House. Now I call Flagstaff House. It is that back and forth in terms of a petty.
No, pettiness, no, I'm saying pettiness, a free him.
Question may be free, I mean, family. But, now adding Tina a Flagstaff House.
What the pettiness is just here?
Everything.
The pettiness be you are.
Into free. Okay, pettiness the free.
Kwame.
Yes.
Why? Head of State on the Supreme Commander of the Ghana Armed Forces.
Commander in Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
America, presidential jet reference saying.
Air Force One.
The fact that Flagstaff House is a military headquarters of some sort and so on does not provide any justification for changing it. Does it?
Only plan we're seeing say not American renovation. No American it was a complete. Only say we seen what site are not Flagstaff House. But building it wasn't part of
it.
Focusing
location
on the real issues.
Nice about
Only say there's a place in Nigeria. Military able offering Flagstaff House. Now who cry now? They wanna be row. That is is it that we Flagstaff House that you need 2 years. Flagstaff soldier for and Nigeria for Bessano. But I say I didn't know what's Sano.
That's the point I'm making.
Yes, I didn't know what's that mean
because the head of state is the commander-in-chief also of the armed forces.
Crazy. It's back and forth, needless.
Yes.
Needless.
Now, you just say a one come on only military for no while on Kofa. Flagstaff House then what is it? Why? Because other countries they were the same Flagstaff House.
Now me the many asuda for no wasam.
Someone say Kwame was born and brought up in the I come a political question you won a political house I'm winning into my Kwame because Flagstaff House seat of presidential because Flagstaff House because when
anyway, anytime I say one shot, you may go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
You
Flagstaff House now the Christian broadcast.
Kwesi me enhwe kwa be fa so ya ye be dry season tomato farming. Dry season tomato farming. Ni ye benya tomato all year round. Na wu change din ko say na tomato no nya bi.
Onia me say omanga okomodien. Omanga okomodien. We are handling
grandfather na comrade me nye.
But comrade necessarily
I say
no not in the socialist sense. He just
and them Mesha Siakasan. We can tomatoes some.
Yeah.
We can Jane some. A can send me a bay between dear and no buy. Yet me a didi was some. In the American is not in a position to that. And my catcher will say, the assessment say, and no crown we here change Bibiana. And I'm in Castle.
Into me, you're in discussion.
Kwame now cover Flagstaff.
Chairman General, well trying to sing also for now a Jubilee House. Say a party from government. That's what person sign on your answer.
But only say interestingly, baby, Flagstaff House Nankasa Wano. I won't preserve here.
Yeah.
Building and I'm friendly Flagstaff House. Only said the building in your friendly Flagstaff House, it was preserved.
Oh, okay.
But it's not the
the building I just sent.
Yeah, the one that is called Flagstaff House. No. I hope someone renovating and define for the purposes of heritage.
Okay.
I hope some that's what crazy. Yes,
briefly, me can be brief.
Me too.
Flagstaff House. Hey, what's it say? What's your friend say?
Oh, they can send your pen.
Me, I will be catching be a maker.
Crazy can your pen.
Of the smoothness of the program.
Oh, they can send your pen.
And now what? When say there's a private property on the premises. When say
Flagstaff House.
Yes.
Which private property?
Restaurants never want you upset.
And a restaurant inside the premises.
Private property, bang.
There's a private property there.
Private property. I am one there.
Who traffic lights, man. African traffic lights. And I say, oh, quite say what? Who do you need for so? We so obi dan shawa ya local gate no. A fu ni ade. Obi so obi anko for a long time. It is a private property.
Abanto. A private composed
private property.
I am there.
Abanto.
I say
Abandia na.
Abandia.
Private property.
No, yeah, but one was that issue.
Private property.
Question Abandia.
Meaning.
Then how do you know it's a private property?
Because I know Abandia.
How possible? How possible?
A whole crown obi enwie ehwehwe ho yi.
Kwesi bia wonim. Ebia wonim. Obekaya.
Meaning there.
Now so also a private property, but you're not able to tell me nipa in India. Okay, send a French embassy on an L. There was an arrangement to relocate it. And you don't call cantonment. Ain't why private property now? Yet make us a
composed acquisition.
Yes, Chrissy.
Maybe in addition to the French embassy property now, and also
and
also a union separate. In fact, if the French embassy no swa, and now cost our private property in America. Minimum America opening.
Ain't a private one
before the other gate.
Compulsory
acquisition process. And buy into Jubilee House. And is it before Sargate?
If French embassy, we never saw after French embassy.
What can I do? Yeah,
yes, see what they see now. Sasa million can see. And then if I cry any day, no. Sabu. I'm saying, Nyansa Kakra. Why not you say, hey, or no dear? Uncle Hokra, or Neshi, Uncle Be a Gate, Uncle Eshi, Uncle who is a private property show. It is virtually boarded. I say inside.
Because I don't think it's private property.
We can always find a chairman.
Maybe I know so you're funny there.
And I'm see chairman Nipa any there. I know mining to mean Jim Free in them. Okay, so just a little education. Flagstaff House, a British for baby, I know military commanders in the colonies.
Oh, okay.
And now I'm a friend Flagstaff House. And say be on Nigeria then because say be on Nigeria. Yes, and baby I'm colonize here no more Flagstaff House because on now military governors commanded because it no here like a symbolic office. Inti ni na na friend Flagstaff House.
God ain't yes independent that's still like pass here.
Inti yeah that's so fair.
We took over the colonial. I don't know
but change Jubilee House.
Anyway, may I sure say but as I said, the original Flagstaff House
it's still
it is there.
Was preserved.
It's there. It's preserved here.
Is it in use?
Not military. No. It's no longer used. But well, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But original Flagstaff, a diner now, your friend Flagstaff House, no. They touched it up a bit. We see it in
like a historical.
Yeah, no, much they just see her.
Oh, nice.
Say as part of the heritage of our country. I was inside the. Oh, Kwesi. Oh, Kwesi. Oh, me that say undi me actually, but the original building Flagstaff House. Inside, baby, it's been preserved.
So this is an entirely new building.
New building.
Oh yeah,
new crowd.
Yeah.
Except to say it is on the same with there.
Then President Kufuor was right to some extent to name it newly. Even though Dino Jubilee House, well, I mean that no name the entire audience, so you know. Anyway,
nice conversation, and let's see. Okay. In sense, and we'll go back and forth. Yeah, so I was right. Yes, Flagstaff House still remains there. Danisho, question Dalbako a seat of government for me pass it seat of government. Because almost say Flagstaff House dying and Kasaway. It's in there somewhere. On Bechero. And it's quite interesting. I just hope say Hey. Kwame, that bungalow Kwesi is talking about used to house a senior police officer. Those that housed the warrant officers were demolished. The original Flagstaff house is still there. It's supposed to be part of the president's heritage and residence. Okay, we leave it there. So me can say Kwesi akofa semaba. Kwesi. Kwesi the assembly brain. Kwame, what was once the French embassy and the adjoining properties that together make up the edifice opposite TV3 is fully the property of the government of Ghana. No private interest is in there. Emmanuel Adumwa Bosman, Deputy Chief of Staff, Office of the President. So,
Emmanuel who?
Adumwa Bosman.
Bosman, a deputy chief of staff.
Now you said that be Fawaz ni hobby.
Also a deputy, but only had been way Brazil. Not Brazil now. It was
From Brazil, what dribble?
Brazil had dribble. It's only me doing that. Emmanuel Adumwa Bosman.
What do you say, Uncle Miko? Please be a
whatever. Or sending official into the Yankas.
Okay, that's fine.
That wraps up the matter. Or say there is no private residence or private interest there. Well, are you onunti?
Are you onunti?
Imagine
something interesting.
What?
You have been Sargate, it is completely disused and so on.
But Chairman,
can you see from where you are? What do you see?
I can see me.
I see something like a car vehicle.
No, yeah, Cho Bibi Dino. Yeah, Cho
Flagstaff.
Flagstaff House.
Okay, still.
So it is there. It's in there.
But Nentia, many of Akwasi. We say
Protos are not payment as
but you act be that composite acquisition actor. A bank be to me at 12 own and in some more poor over. No problem. It's a bank property. Me, let me say, a buying able to me a case of property. We share documentation. A private person be there, but location in yeah, the private person.
At what point?
It's a buyer talk.
No, as I say, I will come once. I
bet for colonial
private person.
And I'm security semunti.
There are some things. Yeah,
shut down.
Yes.
Yeah, baby. But that's not the only private property. Say a choir can right the main entrance on the left side. Who's a bunch?
Coming up, no bungalows.
Private property. My usual know as my office paying. They were all private property.
Well, so
put too pressure. My buyer and I drink Obeji. No crowd. The last time we met here, there were issues of compensation. And at least near there by I don't know whether it has been fully resolved. But
at least on this particular issue, Brazil has cleared it for us. So we just leave it there. Now, Atik.
Chairman.
Akwaba.
Chairman.
Bokode.
Could be better, but
okay, for the purposes a Jubilee Flagstaff House. I remember.
That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, very ridiculous. Very ridiculous. Jubilee Flagstaff House.
All this.
But Ghana is an interesting country, Chairman.
It is.
Like an issue.
No, sometimes a non-issue.
I don't want to say as petty as how do we even name the seat of government?
Medicanco can't petty na kwesi minya blues for how. Jubilee Flagstaff House.
No, that's a ridiculous level.
I think,
Chairman,
And
yeah,
one of your friends, finance minister, okay, mid-year budget presentation. Any expectations?
Well,
yeah, but and this we to if you about any other business, if you are sorry, so election 2024 so
election 24, yeah, 2024. The ME says I'm feeling a month for Kenya with Omo campaigns, you know. Last week, I said the campaign fever no na yen shadantini, but I said things. I mean momentum no. I shall see gather until we hope to see clean campaigns in the coming days. Matisa ora GMC over outdoor campaigns over launching the campaign. I don't know how many times that is to be done. Our launching the campaign team. Every campaign and launch it. Anyway, but that's the discretion of the campaign team. It is your Ben or Tamale.
Tamale no more. Tamale.
Yeah. Trying tea in semi.
Some is 27th.
Yeah,
4 days from now.
You know, semi a little bit too dry. My expectation is he would take the opportunity to present some policy issues via a bit in the coming days. Now, yes, you about Mesu North, so see the mean can't which specifically because he keeps moving from one northern region to the other.
One part of the northern area, okay.
Or so see, Akradin Ayedin. Oh, if you want to say northern Ghana, Krana Ayedin.
So say yes, it is best to refer to as 5 regions of the north. And also no, Ebiso say
anyway.
Ebiso it doesn't make any sense. Yenja northern Ghana.
I just say northern region. Then
northern Ghana.
Yedruwa yen
Gambaga and the rest.
Northern regions.
Okay.
That's fair too.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Better. That sounds better. Yeah. Nti matise also northern regions or a pro bono if you see the crowds, I hope these are organic crowds because campaigns there. I like Bajis, but I don't think he profits from having inorganic crowds. And we share some of the look campaigns. At the end of the day, we are going to make choices based on policy positions. And M say why he's made it. His you can say his style say baby obekobia na we the policies no bako edi to ho okoho na waka say so he's realizing his policy ideas, you know, and I think it allows us to have informed discussions about near ecos, you know, which for me is good. Like I said, I expect say Ora Mahama so in during the launch, you know, he would take advantage to present some policy issues we can chew on in the coming days. Bompa is omunyina omu kobe yankopon besho omunyina so na yankotia sem bonibia because chairman is not easy doing campaigns.
That's not so I hear
some of ya kwan and they still have to travel through these routes. Sometimes I ask myself, into politicians, is it that they forget about the struggles they go through campaigning when they win power now? Because akwanya ya kan wa sem omo first one you omo de but they should you know prioritize roads. And Chairman Mika Rosa, I've seen this thing before and I think it bears repeating. Say Ghana, we need to do an audit of our road needs, like do road needs assessment. Ghana hanyina in total, how many kilometers of road do we need? Yehua abembi or bebibia, we will judge you based on how many kilometers you've added. But you see, the chairman of Biaba, or sometimes we keep doing roads that are already done. Then ye dano are still lying down. Until if you are airborne now, share Accra. Chairman, Udru is Legon na we need. But anywhere outside is Legon there. Now you call and Chairman, ye name say Niama abruchiri ya abruchiri. 2 things. Ungura sa grass ya kan ungura. Any aquine. These are the 2 things that make Aburuchiri beautiful.
We are more of collective. Grass is sorry. Mura is like okay.
Rubbish.
Nti sorry ni aquine ma Aburuchiri efe. Sabi, look, our architectural designs are way nicer than Aburuchiri for there. But essence ya aquine nye fe no. If you are born out Ghana, nti this is something we need to do. Do an audit of roads are your do needs assessment of how many more roads we need. Now every year be a sign a bit media account. That is how you do priority planning. Now ya sad ya they be will be doing sa pork barrel rosi uko ahemfo bi ono so ye hia kwan wa na wakoye uko you it's not organized, it's not coordinated. That is that on the campaigns no. Now and media review. Chairman, my expectations with respect to some media review, just two. The kind say a buying would it will be tough because it's an election year.
A bad power.
A bad thing. But if a buying is able to introduce some expenditure cuts, a idea but how the will to do it, no. It takes Sabi, a visionary and you can say a committed finance minister to be able to do that. Because this is the year Obia PBB. And they are not asking you to do it after 2024.
They want it now.
They want it now. This is the time they hold governments hostage.
I like
rightly
that.
so, because one yes ana pahuna nipano babima, it will take you another 4 years to get nipano. But I just hope the ministry would stick to whatever plan they have to keep you can say fiscal balance within reasonable limits. Deficit they will record, but we should not have a lot of overruns because of incessant demands by electors who could be a PC 1 year now after Minister for Finance Sheikh Kokrokoo on padi na votes. And US for free pork barrel projects. Now, if we're able to avoid that, me sure say we can maintain the little gains subsequent to implementing our MF program. By yes idea, whoever inherits this government, whether or about men a bit to us and nipafu from a nipan bebre, yensu ya bebre. So let's be guided by that. So my expectation is that there should be some tax cuts introduced in the media review. Now, secondly, so I want to see clearly some revenue measures.
And yes, our revenue measures,
No, Chama, it depends on where you are targeting. Well, sometimes it's easy to go for the juggler. Tax. It's easy to keep taxing them without exploring other areas. I can say revenue free, but essence there are issues probably with collection. You need to put in some effort and so on. Then we keep taxing the already overtaxed Ghanaian and our citizen. And see, my expectation is we will try to widen the base by the kinds of measures Beba.
Sabro for now expanding the tax net.
No, Chairman, I want to see like in a meaningful way.
Okay.
And yes, bravo. I can't drew at the end of the day. It is already overburdened taxpayers. Yes, I did taxes for egu almost. Let's try to expand. There are some areas we can get a lot of revenue. But the fire dream coho. Property the rates home. Chairman, property rates will we idea that generates money for governments. Now, the reason why effective the collection of property rates effective in Ghana is because of how we have weakened the local government units. No, Chema omuna na nkeso mujiji sasike. Uko UK for example, council tax will we landlord be at council tax, and we a tenant in a house. Unless you are a student, student. Now we are worker, and now we are worker. Once you are not a student, what your council tax nibi? Enti ye the cow rent to home. At the end of the day, na landlord not ya koma council for no. But kroma yen units no, we want all revenue to be centralized in a national pool. Now we are set to take kakra dia mom. Enti the collection there is no incentive. But if you say 40% of your budget is going to be financed by revenues from property rates, for example. Every assembly be no. But essence say there is no incentive really.
The so-called consolidated fund.
So consolidated fund look, we need to start deconsolidating this kakra. Adibia a friend fiscal decentralization. No, you see, you can fiscal decentralization. It's just like what the Ministry of Finance does, but you bring it to the lower units. So what does Ministry of Finance do? They raise revenue and they do expenditures. But young crop we are the lower units. They wait for the center to raise revenue, and Omu raise somebody call baby. Now, even what to spend on, sometimes they are directed on what to spend on. And I can take sanitation, for example. They have no control over sanitation expenditure. So fiscal decentralization is something we need to pay attention to. That would allow them to raise revenue on their own and then do some kinds of expenditures. Now, I also expect to see some progress report. IMF Omo review, they just finished up with Omo review. I want to hear the minister tell us where we stand, what more we need to do, and probably some of the potential gains by the end of this IMF program. Okay. These are some of the things I expect to hear, and more importantly, your exchange rate. What measures?
The almighty dollar.
The almighty dollar.
How much is money?
How much is your money? Yes. Say exchange rate management is a monetary policy issue, but you cannot entirely say managing exchange rate is the role of the central bank, because what the Minister of Finance does or does not do, everyone's on how strong or otherwise our currency is. And I expect to hear them put forward some measures on the fiscal side. They are doing to make sure say the pressure on the currency are we expecting some inflows there to get more forex into circulation, and what are they doing to ensure say kakra eba no yensa mfa nkwa no and people don't hold the money somewhere. Until I expect to hear some of these things in the mid-year review. The chairman omodi two where we are, then we can discuss also some of the fiscal and financial developments for the last fiscal year. One say presenting budget usually the data is up to October and September up to the third quarter. And the mid-year review now amount how the entire fiscal year outlook was. Until by the end of the fiscal year, what was the outturn? Until inflation by the end of December, net is saying growth net is saying, and now we get to know these things in the mid-year review. Until and also how the developments or how the indicators fared in the last fiscal year or in the last quarter of the last fiscal year.
Quick comments. I don't know if you have any comment on anyway. Waka politics scenario. SDA will not vote on December 7. Church reveals. EC says they'll be fair. But I pay, so when we come back and there's more time, we look at it. I pay in election 2024 matters arising and then mid-year budget presentation. Any comments?
Kwame say election 2024 the medical in my opening remarks no ma kan ho asam kakra me the ma ho den be call budget no so mandatory for the Minister of Finance on behalf of the President beba na odi mid-year budget review about betugu and wa kire yen budget a obeje for 2024 no baby a odi aye adwuma akudu and ebia na in the discharge of his duties as a finance minister when ya how be obe here sika kakra and now we expenditure cut be a was oye nti ehu hia pa media na ene honorable Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam Bekona or the budget review yi akoto parliament enim na parliament ejetuma na or the akwakoye adwuma na me ehwe opiti ntakra mu na me huni ekwana nya de a minister no ebekwa akwaji ene budget supplement kwame yeka budget supplement ase okubisa sika fufuru bi ese ma short scanti mu approve we nkoma enkan de down na me beje no ho menye ni se bribisa ebekoso kwame IMF PC PEC program no ekoso nti eno so mehwe kwan se Minister of Finance ebe brief parliament baby a sa program na kodu won abe one last review awie nti eno so obe brief parliament na wachire parliament say wo ba briefing no nia efi mu bani kwame yenya yete wo ha say yenya debt relief bi through the program $2.8 billion bi and also obeka ho asem na say sika no relief no say ye ka si am relief
the program we had to negotiate with our official creditors until not IMF for na is had that relief
but it's out of as a result of the program no men say IMF for the my say IMF sika no be anim say trying to say but yeah you negotiate with our creditors and yen as relief not necessarily from IMF but it's part of the requirement of the program. Nti say sika no se yekesi am leave as kire ne say sika bi a anka wo say wutua na ya suspend the amount say wunya ntua na say wunya ntua da say sika no sanka ya de wutua anka obetua nti wuntua yi ewo he nti ano so finance minister be kire say sika no a obenya no nea ode beye e de aboa ma economy na gira bran obegbo ho nkomo a che parliament me pese me presentation be to say me reading media budget but any am bia me hwe anim say also ka ho asem na Ghana fo nyina hu say sika ye a 2.8 billion say yetua yi ene due to IMF program nti yentua no sika no anka ye betua be akɔhwɛ ne ba na ya betua yentua yi ebeba ye de be den nti eno nso e wo say ye de ye bibia mfa so beba so mere so say ye betua ye betumetua enya me ho say finance minister bekasi bia obeye fund bi na sika no se nyemi nyina akora kakra obenya no ode be kwa kogu fund no se na be ya amereson go suspension emereson na si yekutua yetumetua afi yenya debt forgiveness eno nso ewo ho is about $4.7 billion eno de enye sika ye suspend ama yen sika yen debt yen creditors no se we de ye hu se mo ho akere mo nti we dey de chem enya ade a ye begin back eno so obeba ho nkomo on parliament kwa kwhie na se sika no so sika wo sank yetua nti I say HIPIC system no se o si yetua na se wo de ache yende a ene na sika bi a wo se ye de ye bribi na da ache ye kese ye kobo obosia idi pa ye de wonka no wo kese wo sika wo rigi wo ye nchen 4.7 billion wonye no se sika no den na ye de ye o si ye de ye bribi a se na president Kofo sisi suku adan o kire ho HIPIC school toilet ni acho HIPIC sika wo sank ye kutua no ye ntua no ni sika ye de ye ni eno so finance minister on parliament be di hu nkomo na wa kire won nia all this sika no be ye afei kwame ye de IPPs energy independent power producers na wo generate power na mayen ansa na kania na tuma gina so no ye de wonka Ministry of Finance and Energy and sa independent power producers go into certain discussions arrangements agree on issues bia ebeboa pa ema yen kania na tuma gina so na ka ye de won no kwa ye be fa so ya ye betua ka no na emfa ohaw bebre emre aban na aban entumi entua na fi ye bedundum kania no eno so Minister of Finance and Minister of Energy won atua na mong bebre edu akiri pa eno so ye hwanim say finance minister ebeka ho asem no wabo Ghana for amane through parliament nhihye papa one sa IPPC ayeno eno so obetu ho anamon afei yan economic indicators no empempi no waka so na inflation ni ebedi na the growth na dey sika ba hye nkotokum na no kwase wo mu ni say esase economic indicators ni sa say eye papa wo hu na nimanim ya ebe mere kakra bebe mu asana be hu say ampa sania mmiri bi atwamu adechin bi ya beda benyan na obekọ market kwota ade na guaso na niama no bo akosoro bi mu no sa aba fam sesei 97 first no na me kokwansensi am papa bi a megina na nchen eto anwane omo ne niama bi edekọ ekurase na ho besara nga nya bibia mo nga di sesei da bia first no da bia medu a megese meto ade no be hu say na price no asesa ene bi dia dance say price need to me ejina fa ko kakra eno ya sa pe na kire se na kwesi eno kware me nkase price no aba fa mu mpanyi se ejina fa ko kakra bi ti say oil eso ya to aba fa mu se hu ampa na inflation akoya oil ampa mini figures no about no kwata
oil
cooking oil na make ko say me nka fuel nti na inflation ekọ by 54.1%. Then no samre na adechin bia ya to nyema mu and na ohwa atumi aba fam to about 20 2.8%. But me actually any say a beba fem na say yentumi anya at least something below 20 in the teens, you know. Everybody say about to abananka yenam 15, 14, not even more than 18 anka ebebua pa. I say the growth of the economy. I mean, some indicators here can it boils up to how well our economy is growing. And also finance minister Alberto Gba na anya me won say young economy you do the end of the fourth quarter no na etume grow by at least 3.1%. And also yeah adia ebeboa pa san say na monitors of our economy both internationally and internally no we see you betume grow by between 2.5 to 2.7% to GDP. But yes, you focus actually say you betume grow by 3.1% to GDP. See you to tuna me you be able to go beyond that. Chairman General, because I know now actually how well our economy is. I feel young reserve. Come a buyer bedu baby and I feel you need an import cover of even 2 weeks. So say young reserve on aqua about $6.9 billion. I know betu mama yen 3 months 3.1 month import cover. And it just some kesepa. Kwame yaka import cover enyina enim kwan be fa so ya ye betumi enya bambo ewo yen enuoma ye sikasem control fa yen ma no hunte asem a eye asem papa Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia emri bi din hihye bi ba say ye man anim kwan e be fa so ya ye be sie gold ye be top gold ni ye de sie ye sa ye because sa ban enya sika no person de bi sie a say $1 na yenya yen reserve no in dollar so to make us here was $6.9 as a reserve $1 billion as reserve. And now Dr. Bawumia dey adwene ba say adentina he say $1 ye di see no ye mfa CD no enkoto gold no enfi gold producers no in a CD form na ye mfa gold no mo nsie se na be ya ye ne importers are $1 akwa kra fan won any amaba
and any gold for oil.
Yes but no gold for oil and we gold as a reserve purchase to reserve
but at the end of the day exchange rate na affecting the papibia is
come it's one say and maybe we say ayati ase ye me say sankaban anto say ye kita 34.7 metric tons of gold as reserve. Yes, when they say you found to gold, says sika here the toss are 34.7 no. You found to gold. And your core market say $1 near the akusia. And kiane importers no $1 no. I got $1 number 20 per cedi. Nti o say who say $1 na ma fam kra na amana nkosoro nso bebre. Say ye the cedi akoto gold abesie as reserve. And it's as compared to the cedi $1 now they abesie as reserve. Be a private individual and want to me to $1 billion, but abandon to me at all. And I buy some men got top now dollar no home by din and quatry. No moment be the missing no ever quack gold. Gold near turn in cedis, na media see, na me one be pray dollar no market. In say idea, who says, and yes, sir, she in a buyer, and can be a young cedi no ahweden no abafem esen na ewe nia yehunu. Afei bibiri koso ye be demonstration ye mpene banks a egui no ye deposit bi akam ye sika wom sesia no kwa be betuma ka se nipa be 66,445 na aban etua wonka oguso etua binum ka
out of nipa here
chairman figure ni me no ha outside but these are so far payments are akoso but yes sanya reserve sika Kwame, about 4.4 billion Ghana cedis. 4.4 billion Ghana cedis. Our minister Beckham has some about 13. And also, President, I instructing Ministry of Finance. One share, na says, one fan chia, one sika, akemunu bi.
Now, sir, what's around October no be sadin.
You Kwame, but say, budget when you from this time to December and January and beyond. It's definitely be capture. Into yebeshana wunga tua to bia entwa no command to yem sa budget ye jetum pepe be fi ase se sika yi be koso se ye betua ka ni ya ka exchange rate ampa me ne ati ya adwene se Ministry of Finance and Government need direct control of our exchange rate. But say ye to ya na importation reduce ni export more to say na say nya balance of trade surplus call positive na etuaso akwa anim na increase more a ema cedi no enya hoden nti ye to me fa ohaw ni nyina ko to central bank so central bank wona wo ma ye cedi nya hoden da bi aban ene ministry finance trade and other ministries no ewo anamontu bi a wonso wotu bia ne say ye kan one district one factory no kwame wo kan na ye nuanom ebi ndc 23 eje hu ache ba no kwase wo mpa ne say factories ni yesi ne kwase mpa mu ne say factories ni bi ya adwuma ne kwa ba na kwara ba kwa mu pa so ne say factories ni bi nso ya sia wonso wonya nhye adwuma ase ebi nso gusu a yesi ebe titiri ebe sere say my personal appeal to government say yanhwe na wonga si factories na sisi for raw materials ni ade bi hu ya ye den ama won aban nso won asen na nema bi wo na si etumi produce e wo Ghana ha ebeboa ama yen exchange rate no so etumi enya ahoden emra na main core parliament ye na main na frontline politics mu na aban ahoro atwamu no wari ya ade bi a especially president Ronald Abang and the President Kofu Abang and as I many hu na mente won as na den na mu ye kwame o ma abehu say na o ma auction dollars Abang reserve or dollars no na o ma auction be into the system no more auction be into the system kwame me buy MP na me hu ni sunsan so say wan hwe ni ye na say dollar na ho den no brosi ni so do a na e de just niam bu aye den bia ne say fuel prices. Now we'll be sending messages say we are buy the 50 cedis back. I don't know how true it is, but if it is true, it's as because buy the fiaseba. Until any cost of transportation and can we say buy the book a drink a one can have. Until see a biara a bank buyer na minim say munano about pointing say a bank auction about $130 million into the system. Ni actually say dollar no ahode be ba fa masiri na tumi agina branga. I me first say one faming count na nyamo na kwa manya no nkwan so na ebema sidi na hoden ayeden ya nhwe ni ya wo trade partners bi pa to say Nigeria one so sidi one naira no ohun amane pa wo dollar nsem it is a auction within into the system no one hwe borders no one control ni ya wanya obehu na obi apekwan bi so abenya sidi no the better dollar ha na or the afa fem na or the record neighboring countries not at least Nigeria where you very big trade partners
a bit tosikano they hold them because
I take me ba ho no ya hwe ni ya no say amra wo isikano gumu no be siphon ni sikano outside the country afei ya wo nipa bi wo ha na wo ye importers wo krania maba we compare who say the rate at which dollar no ahode no kosoro no say mikita $500 $1 million na say me de koto cedis na me de koto dollar besia within 3 months no sika menya no me ko import no ama ba e bia na menya sanfa so no where say calculation na wo hu a obo say afei na wo auction dollar no into the system no na one so what to see but I need just say wo mu ni say utumi manage system ni ye na say seed na holding pejape na safo no wosuro say obelusu won the value of the dollar na omudi asie no nga koyi abegu system ni mu na ma seed na holding no abasoro nti yanya ne sa na ntumi mbae o mu say ye wo IMF program conditions wo ma den debate ye ne IMF no so one reps e wo Ghana ha when we sania fuel price kosoro affect every commodity on the market no wo betiase because na yani National Petroleum Authority panyi kasamete o se petrol na bu akosoro no nyina titiri kasepa agina de nsidi na hoden a aba fam no so nti biribiara a yebetumi aye fisa amere yi kopim se e bia abosoma a yebesum yi bekọ na awie no yebetumi aye ema sidi na hoden agina brand na affect petroleum ne other commodity on the local market na ye hu ahan ye hwe se yenye na Ghana ni bia ho han no we have an election to win in 7 December 2020.
Asema Kenya but SDF so warrant to abo
yo kwame ma menka sa asem kakra
to
me constituency aka say SDF for elders, minimum one more years and some form of soft spot for the MPP. The Americans were MPP for. Out to the point to say, there be a Americans make a tour, make coincidence, and bring me MP. See a baby, I shower, oh, you better shower SD outside them, where man I say, you better shower SD outside them, where Subway, you better shower SD outside them. Like I say, SD for no, there was some soft spot to be at the man, my party MPP. You best say one. You best say one. Maybe I can suggestion be a Greek minister, Honorable Brian Achampong.
So one
a security. Young shall say, you better mean a softener, I yank it a hoodie. Nanka, you be a sentence view of a book when I get our SD membership card. Nanka, Yamawaye as a part of the special voting. Na anka sad no made me for say anka bebua. Na so nipa bi si.
Obey den ehu. So SD.
Because SD, so the will be our membership card. But no na nipa bi si anso ni ya na akweye nipa bi adwene say abatu wi.
Aha.
Enti no said to me ayeye no yepia
say 24 na nkremofusu se warren toa.
Enti say ya hwe say no
32 na Christopher say warren toa na yenden.
You betuma ya ne say SD funu nkwa asore memene da na ye besra asofo no. Sabat 2 bi ya wo ye no eme wo pon late. Enti afi de ye kwakwoto abanti ye be Sabat 1 ye nye Sabat 2 nti acha 12 o'clock nanka ye nyina ya pon because kwame ye kan faith hu asem ye kan no gidi me ka pa se me no ukuro makrupon emra wo ka se press before enye wake keeping biem ye wo nipa bi basirifu bi wa akropon a wo jaya asore no se me matena nkrofo wake keeping as ya wi akeka du ne black and white enne every me so no musemi efi dada mo fa ma asore me ko Pentecost how the me we are why be wake keeping one I don't know how now wake keeping is so important to some of them but me the basirifu the one see fam yes e be payment neck we are basically know we are in the way keeping away yes inti ye best faith issue the kind one can ya kwame wa buru obi kurum inti mere kan bebre na mo ye be kwosiara na ya sre SDF ni say what was Sabbath 1 and 2 one year one na ka one suspend the 2 once in so many years because your name that 7 December e be follow on Saturday bi e bi kwa na nyesisi na nka enade wo hu ye mbobo na one year Sabbath 1 no one pon na fe obi ankodi laimu na onkoto aba kwame ukodi laimu a minim obi are the faith but mementi asene say say wo di laimu akoto aba a won nya adwuma won ton ade inye sika enye adwuma be ye profitable venture no I can say you are not working and we say kai home da na di ne kronkron no yes won koye adwuma na say mi di laimu boko na adwuma so na makoto ma aba no menya ni say eye adwuma ye nti wo betumi aye asore ne half day na ebo 12 a won release members e be say akwa na akofem na monga tumi akoto aba.
Let's see how it goes.
That's me party MPP me dem insuro say make say about 60 70 or 80% of SDF for nim won AM
ani anya wunim ebia no be so nim 100%
ono na asama
what they are very subjective but ohene na say I suggest the Electoral Commission should make it possible for the SDA congregation to vote alongside the security services on December 7. And Dr. Atu Edu in Evans, Georgia. I think pork barrel projects are not necessarily bad though. They help to resurrect economic growth in some areas. For example, when a road is constructed during a by-election, it is not destroyed after the election. Then this one says, Dr. Baumia keeps telling us when he becomes president, he will do this or he will do that. But he's currently the vice president. He's in power. He's the chairman of the economic management team and the flag bearer. He should kickstart any of his visions right now, especially in agri-business, because food items are highly expensive. Michael Ashalaja. And then Akilu Fantiakwa Begro says, no matter what, Mahama will win all the way.
Person kasa tintin bia.
Me tie. Tie to say why.
Empempenso ya dunu. Minya epa ka meka poto kasa but enye.
Anya poto but brofo.
That's not brofo ya poto.
The trans and then me no impression. I said anya poto but to the trans. There was a day you went here, very interesting conversation about language. And sometimes now about 2 Tuesdays ago. Very interesting. But anyway, question to us.
Anyway. Kwame. Me adia edika pa here me pa ni say. Enche bia. Me enye me bia review. Me bwana.
Me too.
Because economic and financial factors were predictable. You understand? So see how no what the two job. Acha 6 months no. Figures no reliable because of the volatility on the world economic and financial scene. And that's a worry. That's a major worry. You know. I said near TBA no acha numre na yehun samwa eye oman swafo hwe e football so no. Some wa beka net me kan yi. Ba bibie ni ho a e ba eye nwanwa broso. Ya ko hipik pen. 2001, 2002 ya ko hipik. Ana meboa. That forgiveness here compared to under HIPIC. But the situation now is worse than 2001. 2001, you near breed in India, you call HIPIC, you near Bandia, you near day. At that time, our main concern was that we were spending 2/3 of total export revenue on debt servicing and debt repayment. And then look at the situation. Far worse. And the debt forgiveness is not a solution to the fundamental problems of the economy. It is not, can never be, has never been. On them, Chairman. Now, I say, oh, and then the indications of mine is no, ba, and so. Sansam Ninjaika. Yeah, Ninjaika. Masa, if we 4.3, we are almost at 16. So if it's 16 by 15, what kind of measurement is that? And if it's 4.3, you could do 16. If it's 16 by 15, I say, I did what he found. See, Master, media, you hear me near Medisha said, a crime ben soon near far. Say Ghana for, and Sabaquan, and then Supano, the Melchimia Cusco. Let me afuka akwatuma and no need me here. Na debt forgiveness in kika ya if you bear him 50 years and so on. If I could see call me for eternity. Call me. SD 7 there. Masa a debiere ni wiase any special to some people. The beer new year say here special to some people. Obi dey Kusiada, Obi dey Edwada, Obi dey Bunada, Obi dey Meminida, and so on. And then you be ni bia no, we can say Saturday me da pon, it me so about any. Na se betu bia some say that way me da pon nti, and say me so about. Masa e be fine. Enti ni aba no. Yaba no we ekosi miminida. E hu hwe ni. Ekosi miminida.
Ozi e hu bibe yi. Se obetuma ga na mekan. Sabat ye was about 1 and 2. Ntomo ye 1 ni wi a na nkom apon. E be sa na queues na akofem.
No bia nkom. Sa date ni ye hu hwe ni. One more number your internal arrangements to suit.
And near Binum suggestion says because 7 December. No. Yan hwe day bia a day I acceptable by all. Near can say the first or the last Thursday in December or the second Thursday or the second Friday. You will say it's this day, not date.
Whatever. Dabi o anya da pomo nipa wo wiase mu.
See a consultation, you benya be a da pomo bi kwa de say nipa na a bit flexible. Aye, obeti asem ye de ni dey no. Aye.
Masa no kure nipa ma bre.
Wa bre say menti ase say
bibia
kasa na na say
bibia no bia ko tu bibia ba. Aden.
I think
Chairman.
Kwesi so abro.
Chairman, or there's this issue be
Kasa bi dos.
Or tikra na obebre.
O say abeka meti amebre.
Me can that. Over. Krom ha Mamin Chas, and the Manchester Republic of Gamaga for Bonikasi.
Anything I can say, you know.
This is enough to cause a revocation of my, you can say, if you are an ambassador, say we present letters
of accreditation.
They can
they'll recall you.
They can be recalled. Intianano pay Mamin Republic of Gamaga for. Chairman,
I think
issues be about a buying sassy and a hunsama at Pijanum. Last week, Bahana Mekasimbi.
Now can't assembly about.
Yes, and I need to. In fact, I need to say it again because a idea, Chairman, me damn intimida. Me dream why I'm in tears here.
Are they?
Say, over.
You see, a Sabbath school, I pay. Sabbath school, and yes, Sabbath too.
Sabbath school.
Why when you propose on us?
No, it's Sabbath school. No, 1 and 2.
But Sabbath
1 and
Sabbath 2.
Sabbath
school.
One early morning before the church. And then 2 no be after the church. The second one, let me see. Sabbath school. Bible teachings. No. In the second one, I miss Uncle one suspended now.
Don't go to Aban.
Kabila wa Hanko be you one. Kabila is hey, very strong advocate. Yeah. I think meet you.
German, sa issue na me kan ho asemi. Of Obekai, a Nigerian High Commissioner, and say, and Chebia, Obiko demolishi, or more building a normal.
I think that's what I say,
Chairman, they won't hear me. Because, look, what I've seen is that now we are moving from, say, a man for AGG Abayan Asasi to using Abayan Kasasasi to scam Abayan. And I'll explain why. Chairman, to
using Abayan
Asasi to scam Abayan. And I'll explain. Chairman, the Nigerian High Commission, Lands Commission, would never make any recommendation to Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Say asasi we at the home to media man Nigeria High Commission. Abra obidin the daso. They would never do that. Now, Abayin Edis asasi no Edima Nigeria High Commission.
Yeah, in Nigeria
for. Because we kept changing them locations. And I final Abayin say, look, I have a last stop. Yeah, they have a mamu. And I Oura be a friend Anthony Duke Asian. Eddie nkrofo bi enim in fact on eso di omonim on odi omkoye enom ko bubu sa dan na Nigeria High Commission for no AC no obubu ade ni wiye no na it became
and na ya ton amana na what was his locus?
He has no locus. He has no locus. Chama proma man for ni na ma juma omudi enye is you.
Oh how what do you David but said that uboni din no I mean only had to defend himself.
Mimbo obi edin sabi abra documentary evidence are me jina so chairman me kita papers bi I'll share some of them with you. Chairman obubu adi.
But let me just say sir we are not men can say ya can me fuaso.
Debi
because what bo bidin but only ha.
Chairman me na me
senka ajobreo.
Chairman ma me
is it ya can a court asem a bibia kratos anase a atesem.
No court, there's even a court case involved in po. Me ba there's a way there, this is just the beginning. Sika omuji free aban honum no kura ne kumi. That's my issue. Chairman, I did distraction in course and it became a diplomatic chaos. And I created diplomatic chaos because mudi eyama another country. Now all of a sudden omu ye dwuma bo akobuwa de no. Enti ade ne be ye hye no. And nipe edwane ko share osufuo echi say assassino say catchment area ni nyina alodia honest ni osufuo na protecting no ena di omo nkomo So finally, they owned up and said, okay, yes, man, Crawford, and so on and so forth. Chairman, when him say Asasi abinding ma Nigeria for no. Eventually, government had to come and do negotiation for compensation.
To those people.
And also for a croissant can hardly. Yeah, compensation negotiation. Government ended up paying 45.6 million. Over. Missy ARL
45.6 million what?
Ghana cedis.
To wine.
To Duke ACN and company BIF from more Glyco Healthcare.
Chairman, are you sure?
Oh, Chairman. Let me wait there. You see, Trufone na dance.
But Debbie said, on to me, Fanny can hear no credit.
Chairman,
on to me, Kofa are buying Sika. Why need to escano?
Maybe. Over. This is an undertaking by Sir Dukesi and who said he has actually received 15 million of a share. Near Mikaba, one says, I negotiate Omu ye na a banker sell. Nyomubu yeno omu wahin team Crawford from Osustu said say okay yen ekoye and a yechi omu. They are even in court. Later, say okay.
Now, if they are in court, why don't we let court decide?
No, me come Crawford who owned up to the demolition. No. They are in court because of the demolition. And yeah, Sikasemi.
So what is your beef?
My beef is Sikana, Chairman, me pachoma mreka built up to a point.
Me share the name rentina.
Let me just do quickly.
Yes, sir.
Aka 8 minutes.
Yeah.
But the my man 2 minutes we not wrap it up.
Let me wrap up.
Now mean sorry.
Chairman, go yes negotiations.
Memo 30 seconds.
Negotiations.
Say we are big man. It was about 30 seconds.
For 5 minutes.
Oh,
I don't want to say to be
I think
Chairman, negotiations. Sapa pay Ekotina negotiations and the claim was that he was representing Osufon.
Why?
Sir Dukesi and whether it's a gun crack is another matampo. At the end of the day, me the idea say Asasi are buying there. Because Asasi government acquired it. West Street not then so. And finally, Yediama Sa Nigeria High Commission for it. And there's a claim said na Glyco Healthcare had already been given Sasasino. And then I'm thinking, Lands Commission will not give a land or be in that so and farmer by say Farmer Nigeria High Commission. Near the kind no. And secondly, say Anka Glyco Foi and they got their registration before buying this cinema Nigeria Foi. Aban should be dealing with Glyco for and not any other third party. Of 1 year negotiations, it came to 45,600,000 and BBB.
And I buy TI.
And I buy TI. And my question is, when we see negotiations, how on earth would government agree to pay this as compensation? And 15 million, Duke's energy, 15 million so called Glyco Healthcare for her.
Well,
like me doing what Chairman Mintias
ain't ose Adena could pay court.
No, court is about say about
the demolition.
Say Uncrofwa Omuka say okay, una koye demolition, but ye the who bejimuno. Ena court. Look, their lawyer has written. And Chairman,
so is it Bulgarian or Nigerian?
It's Nigerian High Commission.
High Commission.
Yes.
Okay.
No, Joe, Westridge.
Into the Kokrokoo so near disclaimer say. But as Kwesi Pratt MF to the Yama Mrenier Echre.
Chairman,
into how ne say untia say abai tieska.
Sas compare as a wodia. And Obia Echre say assassino nedia na wakwe demolition. Ave you sit to negotiate with Nipano. Abra Adeno Lands Commission entre said as I said we obi say din edaso. Let's obi cross and din edaso. Enya Nipana onum be negotiation. Now as I said that West Region, utoma Nipane saying and within a space of 1.5 years, who sabe to assassin back you are buying it at 45 million.
Yeah, buying krona.
And a chess me would you
search kakra say obeding edasan obeding na
so and you see Chairman at the time later not there was Glyco Healthcare they were trying to register as no there was no registration at the time no Glyco Healthcare now be. But how can Lands Commission give land to Aban to give to Nigeria High Commission when they know say obeding edaso? Now say if at the time indeed Obidin and that's why government should be negotiating with you to get it back.
And who sold the land even if the guy could have careful registration?
They claim also for Abaini assassin no Abandia.
Assassin who say Ghana.
But you see me, my problem I don't care whether government goes sika 45 million on your own land. Or if you needed the land, why do you relinquish it? That is if indeed they truly relinquished. Because we share it doesn't appear say Abain genuinely and are truly relinquished the land. Na se bibi sa bana enye osufo na woni ombeka na if you have to if you have to lease you cry expire Abain acquired in 1897 so areas ni nyina. Now you want to extend, you can pay another compensation to stool no and say they want to extend
the
lease.
Stool will deal with whoever they have given the land.
They did not even they can't even give. If government does not relinquish its interest in the land, they cannot.
You cannot give it out.
Yeah.
What is here? Now go to 45. Chairman, can it that time we share exchange rate now? It was around $5 million. So. I'm telling you. We share that time exchange rate no. It was around $5 million. I buy why was us? Who's $5 million? Because of shenanigans be accustomed. This land issue, Chairman, is
question the young point actually
30 seconds
counting to 30 meet here.
Charlie, mo de assassin nyamo ye ni bia no nkoso ye. But warning back.
Kwesi na say oni no wo fom adai.
Oh, say my akokora.
There be but vim wom still.
Pampacho. Mo de mo ye nyina no. Munyi mani fi achimota forest no so.
Oh, thank you. Nanka meka wansam. Enu de nanka meka wansam.
No. Who you sue pronoun be?
Yes,
pronoun. Who say?
There's an executive instrument.
Including me.
I'm going to buy no.
Who's a mo? That's a pronoun.
Now,
That's a pronoun.
Who can buy no?
I mean, can I feel
why is not referring to you? I'm not taking offense.
No, because
I pay. Keep quiet forever.
That's all. We are willing silence to you forever. Oh, I'm not there. Hey,
when so
who can buy no? I buy the DI buy
the only carbon sink in the
whole of Accra.
And so money abrin sase a mo pa achimota no de mo yin film. Mo pa achimota bad
hey and dey be hard.
Na and this future twa ho fa bi ton no so.
Nti musu be twa bi aton.
Na bi man tisa what can be.
That's the justification you are trying to say.
Check my.
Kwesi where we are yanko. Kwesi mo last one kwesi mo.
Kwame, I mean we start aba assassin some we start aba.
There we.
Who assassin wo who register bibia kama. No kwabna ni afro. So assassin we assassin we
yeah, but me beje.
But one mammy 20 acres.
Beje ni nyina.
Na be say wo nyoma ma fa ni nyina. Ni abado no. Na say we so efiri hifa. This is the first time.
Yeah.
If you more.
And
this
now
is the first time.
We have Langas purporting to be active and working for government. Langas one is there.
Now for security agencies to admit to say land guard be or
yes.
And also free. I mean, what is this?
Chairman General, what the item be to her? But 1 minute na me come handsome.
Remember 1 minute.
Speaker of Parliament. Naming
Chairman Wapon.
Who says Speaker of Parliament?
I say
Opamo Kokrokoo every year.
Now, Kwame Dafufuro member education.
About back on a class prefect or a headmaster.
Oh, bad.
Into ya. Onu be sieni.
But since 1993, Speaker Biano evoke that clause in the standing orders. At times, a person, it's a record being a person said to you. To that, when they, yeah.
And I'm Deku, happy birthday to you. And I'm Deku of Talk to Teen International School in Adenta. And to you, Lordina Akotobanfo. It's from your mom and dad to you, Lordina Akotobanfo. It's 11 o'clock in the morning of Tuesday, the 23rd of July, 2024. We've come a long way, haven't we? Amazbaka Wajingman. Amazba, Bami Sunday. What by JK? One morning down, many more mornings to go on this way. Your favorite radio show, Kokrokoo, live in your ear. Amazba, okay? Imekong. Okay, Manchester, hear me. Kwe. Or say to 2 feet yellow. Namekong. Kejengme. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. That's my prayer, my dear listener. Amekemini. Amazbak Bami Sunday. Kokrokoo Milson is next on your radio. The next news broadcast is at 12. May your day be blessed. To my guys at Das FM in Kintampo, good morning to you all. And as always, when you stop to say a prayer, remember to say one for me too. God bless. Good morning.